We don't have to root, don't have to question what is the right way to approach people, to deal with people, to help people. Just connect with yourself, connect with them. Hello.
Bernard.
Hello.
Thank you.
Sandrine, huh?
Sandrine. Yes.
Sandrine, yes.
Yes. I wanted to ask you, I have many people around me dying in a terrible way, hanged down, or very terrible. And my mother-in-law, she's dying, not for COVID, but many strange things.
Yeah.
And I love praying. But I feel sometimes it could be a trick as well of willing the good, the well. But I feel in a good way, in the loving way, some little tension sometimes. Those people are far away from me.
Yeah.
And I'm okay with this dying, because I'm with people dying very often because of what I'm doing.
Yeah.
It's more about the question, it's if it's too much to pray for them, for the soul, or it would be, it's a question which just came before. It's perhaps better to be, just to think about them and to let it, to be breathed by life without another action, just to pray for their soul, or it's just a question that appear.
Yes. And actually both are the same. If you naturally pray, then by all means continue praying, if that comes natural to you. But if you simply connect with them, feel the connection, then actually it's the same. When you are praying for them, you are also doing that. You're also connecting with them, and that is what matters more than the words of your prayer, the thoughts of your prayer. But if you have the habit of connecting with people by praying, you need not think that there is anything wrong doing so.
Thank you, because you make me realizing now that I was underestimating the fact of doing nothing, just being in connections with just what I am, with no things more.
Yes.
I thought I had to, to do something. It was, but normally when I pray just with all my heart, it's coming like this. But sometimes I feel the little, I have to, sometimes, and more than, I was underestimating the fact of doing nothing and with people.
Yeah. Just connect, and then you don't need to do anything. It's happening all by itself. If somebody is in a difficult situation, if somebody is suffering, and you connect, but you don't let your mind be pulled into suffering, then something very beautiful flows through you towards those people without doing anything. But if you facilitate by praying, there's absolutely nothing wrong in that.
No, I understood, but now it's clear that praying or just being, it's the same. It's a prayer.
It's the same.
Yeah.
It's not either or.
I came with a bit like this. Thank you.
You're
Thank
welcome.
You so much, Bernard.
You're
Thank
welcome.
You.
Hari Om. Hari Om.
Hari Om.
What we were just talking about with Sandrine. This is also in our spiritual growth as a sadhak. We often think we have to do so many things in order to get closer to reality, in order to get closer to the goal. So we have to do all these practices, to do the strict timetable, to do all the good deeds and the selfless work and whatever. These are all helps. These are all crutches just for that simple deed that is basically necessary to turn the attention back to the source. It's not easy when we are all agitated to abstractly simply to drop it and to simply be. So it's easier to have something to hold on, some technique, some way of meditating, some way of doing things. But the aspect that really matters is by doing that practice, we withdraw our attachment, the attention from what we are usually busy with, and bring it back to the source. The jnani would say to the self. The devotee would say to God. That presence, whether you call it the presence of the self or the divine presence, is the same. And that is what matters. And so all our doings are crutches to help that little thing. We are always there. We have never been separate from that. And yet, in our imaginations, we're creating all that sense of separation, and all we have to do to catch the attention on its own level, where it's busy, and turn it back to the source. And for that, we don't really need to do anything, but just let go. Simply, often it's much easier to let go if we do some practice. If we do it in a specific way, and if we repeat that certain action again and again, it's getting easier. And so it is also when we're dealing with people. Our external words, our internal prayers, they are not the main thing. When we connect with living beings, then we can feel what they are going through, and at the same time still be aware of something beautiful, something that is not affected by it, something that is not touched by it. And then that very seeing, that connecting, is already doing the job. Many times it's very, if we are close, it's very helpful that we have a conversation, that we talk, but the inner work that is happening is really the important one. So we don't have to brood, don't have to question what is the right way to approach people, to deal with people, to help people. Just connect with yourself, connect with them. How we are doing it, whatever help we are attaching to it, it doesn't matter at all. If somebody feels like praying, then praying is the way. If somebody feels comfortable with praying, some people can't pray, it just feels funny to pray. So for them, it's certainly not the way. For Francis of Assisi, praying was was the means that he used to go all the way to his spiritual journey, transforming that Francis from a young, licentious freak, a spoiled, rich kid, into a fantastic, wonderful being. He was just praying. He didn't have much a notion of theology. Just suddenly he felt that connection with God. And then he started to talk to God. And talked and talked and talked in the beginning. And slowly it was getting less and less talk, simpler and simpler with prayer. From all his stories that he used to tell God in the beginning, in order to connect more consciously, then it became more and more just, oh my God, oh my God, Dio mio. And then the oh my also disappeared, and he was just praying God, God, Dio, Dio. At the end, he just kept quiet. His practice was prayer. And this prayer was simplifying all by itself. Nobody taught him to do so. He just felt the divine presence. And he felt it so strong that he saw it everywhere. Everything became a manifestation of the divine. And that he started to call everything brother and sister. All people, all animals, the elements, the things. His own body was a brother, us. He prayed, and through the prayer he connected, and he let go, and let go, and let go. At the end, the prayer became silent all by itself.